Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into a really iconic bit of cultural history. We've basically grabbed just a few moments from the Shake a Tail Feather scene, from the Blues Brothers, the movie from 1980. And our mission today really is to unpack the language, the fascinating little insights hidden just in this one classic clip. Now, you might think, okay, it's just a song. But listen closely, and well, you'll find layers of communication. There's dance instruction in there, surprisingly, and even a little peek behind the curtain at how a performance actually works. There's a lot here. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating, I think, is just how much context, how much insight you can actually pull from such a brief audio snippet. We're going to be focusing on the, specific language being used, the dance calls, those are really key, and what it all kind of tells us about performance and interaction.
Okay, so it kicks off with this kind of curious line, almost feels like a throwaway comment. Excuse me, I don't think there's anything wrong with the action on this piano. It immediately puts us somewhere, right? In a physical space, maybe hints at some setup issue, or maybe it's just a playful comment about the instrument. What's a point of a line like that before the music even really gets going?
Well, it's a quick thing, isn't it? Almost
Okay.
casual, but it actually it humanizes the whole performance, instantly signals they're on a stage, dealing with real stuff, real equipment. Maybe there's a live audience right there. It just pulls you into their world for a second before the polish act begins, and then bam, the tone shifts completely. You get that almost accusatory line, but it's clearly playful. Well, I heard about the fella you've been dancing with all over the neighborhood, so why didn't you ask me, baby, or didn't you think I could?
Yeah. And that's where it gets really interesting for me, that bit, why didn't you ask me, baby, or didn't you think I could?
Mm-mm.
It's more than just asking someone to dance, isn't it? What kind of power dynamic is the performer setting up there with the audience or maybe other dancers?
That's a really good question because it's not just an invitation. No, it's a challenge, it's confidence, it's a promise kind of all rolled into one. The performer is stepping up, basically saying, I'm the guide here. I know what I'm doing and I can show you how to do it better. It immediately sets that high energy, instructional, maybe even slightly boastful tone for what's coming.
Right. And then there's that really fascinating bit that follows. It's almost hard to make out perfectly. I know that the blues out of sight, but a laser thing tonight. But if nothing, you, me, baby, I would have shown you how to do it right. Do it right. Now, if you actually dig into the original song lyrics, it seems those garbled bits are, I know that the boogaloo is out of sight and all your shaking thing tonight.
Mm.
Which is just a great example of how live performance, even when it's filmed for a movie, can have those spontaneous moments. Sometimes things get a bit sonically fuzzy, but what's still crystal clear, despite that fuzziness, is that confidence,
Yeah.
that challenge, and it builds up to that repeated do it right.
Exactly. And repeating do it right 5 times like that so quick. It's not just telling you what to do. It's rhythmic. It's a command, almost hypnotic. In a
Mhm.
live setting, especially with dance, this isn't just instruction. It's about merging everyone together, getting this collective, almost primal physical reaction. It pulls the audience right in, creates this shared feeling, tapping into something really old, like communal ritual call and response.
You can almost feel the energy ramping up with each repetition. And then, whoosh, the dance commands just start flying out. Twist it, shake it, baby, shake it up, baby, and over. Let me see you shake your tail, feller. The shake it gets repeated 5 times, too. It mirrors the do it right. It creates this rhythm you almost can't resist before that big call to shake your tail, fella. What's the effect of just hitting people with this immediate, almost relentless barrage of commands?
Well, what's fascinating there is how it shifts, right? It goes from general things like twist it and shake it to very specific named dance moves. You get this rapid fire list, do the twist, do the lock, ooh, do the swim and do the bird, do the monkey watch. And now what about the fruit? Junior mashed potato.
Sure.
It's like a whirlwind tour of classic dance steps, almost a history lesson delivered as instant instructions. It really highlights the performer not just as an entertainer, but as a dance conductor, a sort of cultural historian in motion.
It's almost like a drill sergeant. Yeah, but like the funkiest drill sergeant ever. And repeating, let me see you shake your tail, fella, 4 times, broken up by, come on.
Yeah.
That's pure call and response. It's just urging the audience to jump in completely. But while that call and response is definitely pulling people in, is there ever a risk? Does that level of direct command, does it sometimes feel, I don't know, too demanding instead of just engaging?
That's a sharp point, possibly. But I think in this context, the sheer energy, the music itself, It transforms those commands. They become an invitation, really, an invitation for everyone to just let go through movement together. It's less about following strict rules and more about sparking that impulse, just move, participate. Don't even think about it. The words themselves become part of that rhythm, part of the whole experience. And it culminates in Moroni, come on, let's do it, and then back to more twist it, shake it, reinforcing that group pull.
Okay, so after all that amazing energy, that electrifying performance,
Yeah.
we suddenly shift gear completely, back to the mundane almost, with the lines, we'll take these axes naturally. And as usual, I could take an IOU.
Yeah.
So.
What does this little moment, this brief interlude, tell us about the reality, maybe, behind the show?
Yeah, stepping back from that high point, these lines are just a quick peek, aren't they? Almost casual. They reveal the practical side of being, well, a touring musician. Axes, that's common slang, usually for guitars, right? So it grounds that huge performance energy in the simple act of packing up gear, down to earth. And the IOU, well, that suggests some kind of informal money situation, maybe a debt, maybe just how things work on the road. It's brief, but it's quite telling. A little glimpse into the logistics, the finances, that actually keep the music business running. A real contrast to the energy just seconds before. So let's try to wrap this up. What does all this mean for you listening in? We've kind of twirled through those specific dance calls, twist it, shake it, a twist, the lock, the swim, the bird, the monkey, and junior mashed potato, all those classics. We touched on that interesting, slightly garbled phrase. I know that the boogaloo is out of sight in all your shaken thing tonight. And the very practical, we'll take these axes. Alongside that revealing a little bit, I got to take an IOU.
And if we look at the bigger picture here, it really does highlight just how much can be crammed into one performance moment. You've got information, instruction, interpersonal stuff happening, all in this single high energy burst. This clip, it's not just entertainment, no way. It's like a little window into how cultural things like dance get taught and shared. And often it's done with this unique style, very direct, very repetitive, all designed to excite people, to guide them, even if, every single word isn't perfectly clear.
Yeah, which leads to, I think, an important question for you to maybe think about. How do these kinds of calls for action, direct, instructional, often repetitive, whether it's in dance like this or maybe other kinds of performance, how do they actually shape how we understand and how we participate in a cultural moment? What really stands out to you about how this particular scene communicates, that powerful message of just movement and getting involved, something to ponder?